Have you ever wondered when you're watching a movie or a television courtroom drama if the scenes are accurate? Well, my name is Dusty Smith, and I've been doing this for almost 35 years. Let's break down some of these iconic scenes and see what we find. And if you want to know which of these three attorneys I would hire, stay tuned to the very end.
You snotty little bastard.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
If Lieutenant Kendrick gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched, then why did he have to be transferred?
I'll answer the question.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Did you order the code red?
I did the job.
Did you order the code red?
You're goddamn right I did!
Isn't real to life at all. I've done a lot of military trials. The witness would not be allowed to yell or curse at you. The military judge would have stepped in and shut that down in a heartbeat. The fact they were all in uniform, the fact that you had the panel, all that in that movie was very accurate, but the way that the trial went was not accurate. Bottom line is, in this case, the clients, they were not guilty. People often will mistake that a criminal trial determines guilt or innocence. No, they determine guilt or not guilty.
Miss Wyndham, when you arrived back at the house, was your father there?
Not that I saw, but like I said, I went straight upstairs to take a shower.
Miss Wyndham, what had you done earlier that day?
I got up, got a latte, went to the gym, got a perm, and came home.
Well, you got in the shower? Had you ever gotten a perm before?
Yes.
How many would you say?
2 a year since I was 12. You do the math.
Because isn't it the first cardinal rule of perm maintenance that you're forbidden to wet your hair for at least 24 hours after getting a perm, at the risk of deactivating the ammonium thioglycolate?
Yes.
And wouldn't somebody who's had, say, 30 perms before in their life be well aware of this rule? And if, in fact, you weren't washing your hair, as I suspect you weren't because your curls are still intact, wouldn't you have heard the gunshot? And if, in fact, you had heard the gunshot, Brooke Wyndham wouldn't have had time to hide the gun before you got downstairs, which would mean that you would have had to have found Mrs. Wyndham with a gun in her hand to make your story plausible. Isn't that right?
She's my age. Did she tell you that? How would you feel if your father married someone who was your age?
You, however, had time to hide the gun, didn't you, Chutney? After you shot your father.
I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought it was you walking through the door.
Order! Bailiff, take the witness into custody where she will be charged for the murder of Hayworth Wyndham. In the matter of the state versus Brooke Wyndham, this case is dismissed. Mrs. Wyndham, you're free to go.
To do a murder trial, you have to have a lot of experience before a judge will even let you try the case. Let's say that I was her co-star there, that was the attorney that was with her. I would never let her question a witness without a theory. We would have had that theory fleshed out. We would have had our questions fleshed out. Nobody knew. The other attorney didn't know. Nobody knew about the whole perm idea until she just happened on it, thinking about a wet t-shirt contest, which the way she was talking to the jury would never, I mean, it was just, no.
Wrong.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
How could you be so sure?
Because there is no way that these tire marks were made by a 64 Buick Skylark. These marks were made by a 1963 Pontiac Tempest. Would you like me to explain?
I would love to hear this.
So would I.
The car that made these two equal-length tire marks had positive traction. Can't make those marks without positive traction, which was not available on the 64 Buick Skylark.
And why not? Is that it?
No, there's more. You see, when the left tire mark goes up on the curb and the right tire mark stays flat and even, well, the 64 Skylark had a solid rear axle. So when the left tire would go up on the curb, the right tire would tilt out and ride along its edge. But that didn't happen here. The tire mark stayed flat and even. This car had an independent rear suspension. Now, that was the 1963 Pontiac Tempest.
And because both cars were made by GM, were both cars available in metallic mint green paint?
They were.
Thank you, Ms. Vito. No more questions. Thank you very, very much. You've been a lovely, lovely witness.
Again, in this movie, they didn't have their theory until during the trial. He noticed it when he was looking at the pictures earlier on, before that whole scene. Number two, the other expert that was paid by the state in that movie did not know this, and I believe that he all of a sudden knew it when he heard it from her. I don't think that was very likely either. I mean, it's great theater, but not very realistic. However, having said that, the way the questioning went, he knew the answers to those questions, which goes back to the cardinal rule in litigation: you never ask a question you don't already know the answer to. To get there was a little stretch, but that part of it was very good. If I had to choose one of these attorneys to work with me, I would choose my cousin Vinny. He's the kind of attorney who brought himself up from nothing to be an attorney, and he was very good at what he was doing. I liked his hunger and his drive and his desire to learn. So I would hire my cousin Vinny. You've had a glimpse of some of these legal dramas, and they're fun to watch, but law is difficult. And when you're hurt, you need someone that's going to take on the insurance companies and help you. So if you want to know where to click next to get more information on how we can help you, watch this video by Angel Reyes.